scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drag the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drag the chains, you can say no, free me. Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, your check as I'm chess. What's happening next? You got the
What up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of The Blitz, brought to you by Game Changers Media. I'm your host, Big C, and you know the co-host, Mike Jones. How is everybody doing tonight? How are you doing, Mike?
Oh, just another Monday, busy day. A lot of questionable stuff, a lot of exciting stuff for these teams, doing a lot of moving around. So that's cool. Welcome everybody, episode 60. Appreciate you stopping by. Links are in the chat if you want to stop in to say hi or you want to argue with Big C. That's always a good thing too. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff going on today, like we were talking about, and I don't know, man. Some stuff's questionable, some stuff's not. Let's see what you think. But how are you doing first, brother? Are you sleeping?
I don't even know what to say.
He said,
I guess I should start by apologizing to the people that watch me, because I swore up and down that Chris Grier was going to put together this team that was going to be able to compete for the division, compete for playoff positioning, compete for a Super Bowl opportunity. And I was absolutely wrong. I was absolutely 100% wrong. The Miami Dolphins have done zilch, nothing. They've done nothing as player after player continues to go off the board. And I don't know what to say about it. I am mind blown. I'm stuck. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand the thought process behind their strategy, if this is even a strategy. I don't know what's going on, and I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense for me. And
right.
People can say, oh, look what we did last year, waiting on people, wait until a little bit later. This isn't last year. We're not trying to fill the same type of holes where offensive guards don't become available. Good guards, good offensive linemen don't become available later on.
Right.
Those are positions that teams hold on to because they're far and few between.
Mm-hmm.
And we have done nothing to address this offense. We've done nothing to address any of our holes. We have so many holes, and we've done nothing to address any of them.
Yeah, and you're running out of players.
The one person that we sign, I don't even think that addresses that position. We go and we sign Zach Wilson to be our backup quarterback. That's your strategy. That's your game plan. That's your ace in the hole, is to have Zach Wilson to come in and start for Tua when Tua's going to miss time. He's going to miss time. He's going to miss games. And that's who you got. That's your game plan. That's who's going to save us, is Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And listen, people are getting overpaid, and I get that. You know what I mean? I get people are getting overpaid. People are getting a lot more money than we thought they were gonna. But listen, there's pieces out there that you could have grabbed that were in the price range of being affordable. Now, were they bargain bin pieces? No, they're not bargain bin pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But we started off the day with around $25 million in cap. There was several moves that we could have made that I went over earlier in the day and the last few days, last week. They could have got us close to $70 million in cap. We could have had $70 million in cap room where we could have easily fit in a few of these contracts. Now, again, I know that teams are overpaying for certain players. You know, safeties that we thought maybe get $14, $15 million a year are 20. Some corners that we thought maybe getting 14 are getting 20. But there's players out there. There's pieces out there. Patrick McCarry, the offensive guard from the Baltimore Ravens. He signed a 3-year, $36 million. That's $12 million a year for a very good offensive guard. We weren't going to get him for $5 million. We weren't going to get him for $4 million. He's a legit starter at the offensive guard position. You're not going to get him for a few $1 million. You were going to have to pay. And at $12 million a year, that's very reasonable. When some of the top guards, I mean, Trey Smith is getting $24 million this year on the franchise tag. We've got Patrick McCarry for half that. We could have had him for half that. Some of these safeties that are getting $20 million a year. Jeremy Chin, is he the top of the line safety? No, but he's a very good piece. He's a reliable starter. He signed a 2-year, $16 million deal. $8 million is not affordable for a starting safety that you can rely on. $8 million,
right?
Dre Greenlaw. We haven't had a thumper in the middle in a long time. We needed another linebacker to go along with Jordan Brooks. Dre Greenlaw, a Pro Bowl talented player, 3 years, $35 million. Again, a little under $12 million a year.
Man.
Kinlaw, defensive tackle, another area of need. He's a little bit pricier, but still 3 years, $45 million. The New England Patriots just signed Milton, the defensive tackle from Philly, for 4 years, $105 million. Kinlaw would have been a steal. He would have helped plug an area of need. He would have been a reliable starter. Those 4 moves right there, you know, we're in a lot better position than we are right now. We're not doing anything. We can't address all these positions in the draft. We can't do it. And by the time Chris Grier gets off his ass and does something, everybody's going to be gone. We're going to get a bunch of non-starter quality players to play key positions on this team, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Good evening, Bonnie. We don't really know if they tried to get someone or not, just got outbid. Maybe Zach Wilson will be the next Sam Darnold. Listen, Bonnie, that's wishful thinking. Could have got Trey Lance instead of Zach Wilson. Truthfully, what did we expect, though? This is the same front office that brought Mike White in. I'm like, Miller, I thought that, for once their jobs might be on the line, that things would be different. That's my fault. That's my fault. Maybe the free agents just didn't want to come to Miami. I don't think that's the case, Bonnie. Who don't want to come to Miami? Who don't want to come to beautiful weather, no sales tax, a player-friendly coach?
Good facilities.
Yeah, the best facilities.
Mm-hmm.
Just shows we're targeting linebacker in the draft. Miller, if you're going by that calculation, we're targeting everything in the draft. We're targeting everything in the draft, obviously. You can't go by that. We're targeting everything in the draft then. This is absolutely a ridiculous and disgusting. It's disgusting. It makes me sad to be a fan of this team. I'm embarrassed to be a fan of this team right now. And people can criticize me for saying that, but listen, I've been a fan for a long freaking time. A long, long time. And I know a lot of you have too. But when is enough is enough is enough. When is enough enough?
Yeah. That's tough. That's tough, man. We didn't do much either for the Giants. We did pick up a cornerback, so that's kind of a good deal. Paulson Adebo, is that how you say it? 3-year, $18 million. Oh, what is it? Why does it say 3-year, $18 million contract that includes $36 million fully guaranteed?
Yeah, I told you it said that.
Oh, is that the same one you were talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least the Giants are filling something. We got our punter back. I think we got our kicker back. We re-signed Chris Manhertz. We did sign Darius Slayton to a 3-year, $36 million deal, which I'm okay with. I like Darius Slayton. He's a good receiver, especially when he's on. So we did some moving, but I can't say that I'm terribly impressed with that either. I'm happy we picked up a corner, but I would have liked to seen them address the offensive line in some way, shape, or form. Unless they plan on doing that in the draft. I don't really know, though. We're going to go quarterback first round. No way. No way we don't go quarterback. And I still think Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with us. So,
Irving, yeah, this team is disappointing. I don't know. Again, we couldn't afford to sit around and wait like we did last year. And let's not pretend that, yeah, we got some decent pieces last year from the bargain bin and free agency. We did. But let's not act like last year was a complete success. We missed the playoffs, and that's for a number of reasons. But we missed the playoffs. Last year wasn't a success. Yeah, Jonnu Smith came in and had a great year for us. But it was at the expense of other players' stats. It's not like Jonnu came in and added on to Tyreek's 1,700 yards. No, Jonnu's stats came in place of Tyreek's stats. So it was addition by subtraction. So let's not over boost what we did last year and act like it's going to be the same this year. We needed to make moves to try to get Tron Armstead to want to come back, to want to get Calais Campbell to resign. You think them guys want to come back to this team now? I don't think Javon Holland has been signed yet. Maybe they're trying to work out a deal with Javon. Again, if some of these safeties are getting $17, $18 million and Javon Holland's supposed to be the best one, what are we going to pay him? What are we going to pay him, Bonnie? $23 million a year, $24 million a year? We hope to get players like Brooks, Jonnu cheap again, second wave of free agency. But Elwood, those are players in positions that they're not guards. We need offensive linemen, and they're just not available in the second wave. Now, there's still a couple left. But from what I've heard from a few different people is that these guards said that Miami hasn't been in play with them. They haven't really been in contact with Miami. So the other top guards that are still available are acting like they haven't been in contact with Miami. So what is Miami doing? Are they just sitting back watching? Are they just sitting back watching the New England Patriots get better? Are you sitting there watching the Buffalo Bills re-sign Josh Allen for the next 6 years to continue to dominate this division? Even the whack-ass Jets, the garbage fire Jets, still are out there attempting to do something. No, I think it's a joke they signed Justin Fields, and I'm glad they did. I think that's an absolute joke. But at least they're trying to do something. At least they're making an attempt to improve their team, even though I think they absolutely failed at it. But at least they're attempting to. No, I definitely would not overpay for Holland. Dolphins managed to sign a guy that's actually worse than Scott. Let's not go that far, Irving. There's not a worse quarterback than Skylar Thompson. I don't give a shit. I'd take Zach Wilson twice over Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson is at least Zach Wilson's got elite arm talent. He might lack it between the ears, but he's got elite arm talent. He can throw the ball all over the field.
Wow.
I just don't know what to say or what to do. I'm embarrassed that I was out here and I said it at the top of my lungs. These Miami Dolphins are going to be the best team that we've seen in the Mike McDaniel era. And I look like a complete joke. I look like a complete clown. They fooled me yet again. Every time I give this team the benefit of the doubt, they fool me, and I get stuck with holding my cell phone in my hand.
My cell phone in my hand.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I mean, I was disappointed too. I was expecting more moves from you guys, especially like when you talk about this stuff. Like a lot of the stuff you're talking about, some good ideas, and man, they just didn't do nothing. It's like they were on a picnic or something. I don't get it.
It's like they forgot that free agency was today.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe they didn't move their clocks ahead and they're running late or something.
Yeah,
who knows?
Hours and hours.
Yep, whole day off.
I appreciate that, Irving. Yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make this at least a semi-positive experience. Y'all need to put some respect on Scott. Come on, bro. You stop it.
Stop it now.
You stop. Skylar Thompson's absolutely horrible. Absolutely garbage.
Well,
let's go over some of you got some of these big deals, some of the bigger deals around the league.
I think the biggest one was the Myles Garrett signing, 4-year extension, $123 million guaranteed, average salary of $40 million a year. Like, how do we go from Myles Garrett saying he wants out, and then he wants to go to a team to give him opportunity, but then they show him a little bit of money and he totally backtracks on everything he was saying, and now he's stuck there. And then they go and pick up Kenny Pickett today for their quarterback. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's the stupidest thing Cleveland could have done. We talked about this on Friday. You were saying that they should get rid of him, get some picks for him, and get some use out of him. And well, they're gonna have him for 4 more years apparently, and 15 sacks a year. But I don't know how good it's going to do them. They're not set up for any of that. So I think that was the biggest one that stood out to me today. That was just kind of questionable.
Yeah, I mean they missed the mark on being able to rebuild this team in the future when contracts come off the board. There was a lot of big signings though. The New England Patriots were busy. We knew they were gonna be. They had a ton of cap space. They bring in Josh Dobbs as a backup quarterback. I like Josh Dobbs a lot more than what I like Zach Wilson. Josh Dobbs has shown that he can be successful in this league. He's extremely smart. They signed Matt Collins away from the Buffalo Bills. You've seen how much of a gamer he was with the Bills last year. Fan favorite down here in Miami. That would have been a nice. I would have liked to see Matt Collins even a 2-year, $8.4 million deal. You know, why not? Why not? He's a big physical guy. The Patriots also signed Austin Hooper, Morgan Moses, offensive line help. They have signed Harold Landry. He was a former Titan to come over and join his coach on a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. The big piece, Milton Williams, 4-year deal, $26 million per year. He had a great Super Bowl. He's that run stuffing defensive tackle. That's a big piece for this New England Patriots. They're definitely going to be impressive on the defensive side of the ball. Carlton Davis, cornerback, 3 years, $60 million deal. That's a big piece for them. These New England Patriots are going to have a filthy defense.
Yep.
They got a young, talented quarterback. If they attack the skill positions in this draft, if they can get some wide receiver help, some running back help, this team could be dangerous next year. This team could be very dangerous next year.
Yes, sir.
Is Fry's getting 18 to 20 million, I hear? Listen, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But now Miami is backed themselves into a corner, and I feel like you almost got to go out and attempt to get him at that price. Jay Allen is visiting Minnesota. The Finns are running in circles. There's no standard here. I hate to say it, but it might be a wasted year. Yeah, I mean, it's looking more and more likely. I hate to call it early. I hate to call it early because it's only the very first day of free agency tampering, but it's not an impressive start. It's worrisome, and it's definitely gets me super nervous. The New York Jets, Justin Fields, a 2-year, $40 million deal. I think that's a joke. I'm glad that the Jets did that. Is Justin Fields super athletic? Yeah. He can run the shit out the ball. The Miami Dolphins struggle with running quarterbacks. I think a couple years ago when we played the Bears, we ended up winning the game, but Justin Fields ran all over us, so that makes me a little nervous there, but I think this is a wasted year for the New York Jets. They should have just brought Rodgers back, in my opinion.
All they do is waste years.
The Baltimore Ravens re-signed offensive tackle Ronnie Staley. Cincinnati franchise T. Higgins. They brought back Mike Gesicki. Re-signed offensive lineman Cody Ford. Re-signed B.J. Hill, defensive lineman. Just pretty much re-signed their own players. You talked about Cleveland, absolute dumpster fire. Pittsburgh Steelers, DK Metcalf. They traded for him, gave him a huge contract. I'm not overly impressed with the move. I think that makes them better. But as of right now, they don't have a quarterback. And if their plan B is to bring Russell Wilson back, the DK Metcalf move scares me even less. I think Russ showed last year that he lacks that playmaker. He's not the playmaker he once was. He struggled to throw more than one touchdown pass a game last year. He can manage a game all right, but as far as going out and being a game a game changer. He's not that. He's not that. There's talks that Cooper Kupp could be landing here if he ends up getting released.
Mhm.
And then the Aaron Rodgers rumors continue.
Oh,
We shall
God.
see. AFC South, the Houston Texans made a mind-boggling move. They trade their all-pro offensive left tackle Laramie Tunsil to the Washington Commanders. That's kind of a head scratcher to me. I don't understand why they would do that. I don't understand why you would trade your left tackle away, an all-pro left tackle who's still pretty young, still got quite a few years ahead of him. I don't know why you would do that. They signed Christian Kirk, Braxton Berrios at the wide receiver, Justin Watson. So they're adding help at the receiver position. They signed defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins. I like that deal. It's a 1-year deal, $7 million. Look at Miami, Sheldon Rankins, 1-year deal, $7 million. That's an upgrade on all of our defensive tackles besides Calais Campbell. Sheldon Rankins would have been an upgrade at $7 million. They re-signed Derek Barnett. I just can't get over that they got rid of Laramie Tunsil, though. Indianapolis Colts trying to remake their secondary. They signed Charvarius Ward on a 3-year, $60 million deal. Can you believe he got $20 million a year? I'm a little shocked at that. I can't, you know what I mean? I thought he'd get a nice payday, but I'm a little shocked he got $20 million a year. This year, people are jumping out the window, bro.
I don't know. Maybe
jumping out the window.
It's just because the cap price went up. You know, they got a little bit more money back. So,
well, I mean, it goes up every year, but what I think's really affecting it is that they know that in 2 years, when this current deal's up, that Netflix there's gonna be a bidding war and the salary cap's gonna explode. Mark my words.
That'd be crazy.
But yeah, they signed Charvarius Ward at 3 years, $60 million, $20 million a year. They also added safety from the Minnesota Vikings, Cameron Bynum. He agreed to a 4-year, $60 million contract. There's another contract that, $15 million a year for I mean, he's probably a top 10 or 12 safety in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Definitely working on that secondary.
2 games, 1 cornerback, 1 linebacker, $40 million. Elwood, we can get more than $40 million if need be. I mean, we can definitely go get more than $40 million.
Right.
You add in signing bonuses and all that stuff. I mean, it's doable. The money's not the problem. The money's not the problem right now. I mean, talk to me about not having enough money when we go out and sign a couple people and we only got $8 million left. Then talk to me about money. But if we're sitting there with $40 million and we haven't spent a dime, you can't say that it's a money issue.
He didn't address anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Jacksonville Jaguars add Patrick McCarry. Very upset about that. Jordan Lewis, a 3-year, $30 million deal. He would have been a nice corner for us.
Mm-hmm.
The Titans, Cody Barton, linebacker, 3-year, $20 million deal. They haven't done too much. The Broncos added Dre Greenlaw already to a good defense, 3-year deal for $35 million. And they added the safety from San Francisco, Hufanga. I always mess his name up.
Talanoa Hufanga.
Yeah, Hufanga. He agreed to a 3-year deal worth up to $45 million. Again, $15 million a year. That's what they were going to cost for a top tier safety. You had to have known that.
Yep.
The Kansas City Chiefs, Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, they re-signed. Trey Smith, they franchise tagged. Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton is another thumping middle linebacker that you could have had at a decent price. They re-signed him 3-year, $45 million. Yeah, that's $15 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with how much players are going for this year, $15 million is a bargain. The market is the market is the market. You gotta adapt. You gotta make the moves.
Andy's a banger.
Even if you go and get one or two of these guys and bargain bin the rest, we're not getting nobody. Barely play the quarterback position at the NFL level. We got away from the RPO offense to a more pro style offense with more heavy run emphasis on play action. The Raiders, obviously, they traded for Geno Smith. Alex Capa, the offensive guard, a 2-year, $11 million contract. There's another deal. They re-signed Max Crosby to a new deal. Defensive lineman Adam Butler, they re-signed him. And Jeremy Chin, 2 years, $16 million. An affordable safety we could have brought in.
Affordable.
The Chargers re-signed Khalil Mack. Not much more. Dallas Cowboys add running back Javonte Williams to a 1-year, $3 million deal. I mean, that's a pretty good ad. Former Denver Bronco.
Mm-hmm.
He can go out there and get you a couple yards at third and short, fourth and short. I like him. Osa, they re-signed to a 4-year, $80 million deal. Other than that, not too much. New York Giants, Tommy DeVito, Darius Slayton, Adebo, the corner, 3-year, $36 million. That's another one. That's a corner, $12 million a year. That's not a bad look. He's a very good young corner.
Yep.
A very good young corner. What's going on, Scotty? A very uninspiring day. You said that, brother. You said that.
Very true.
Philadelphia Eagles, they took some hits today. The Philadelphia Eagles definitely took some hits today, losing out on their defensive end, their defensive tackle. They released Darius Slay earlier in the week. Mm-hmm. They definitely took some hits. They were able to bring back linebacker Zach Braun to a 3-year, $51 million deal. So there's that. And you re-signed Saquon Barkley to a contract extension. So that's always nice. But the Philadelphia Eagles will be fine because they're so deep and they draft so well.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be fine. To me, one of the big winners of free agency so far, the Washington Commanders. Man, this team is going to be good. This team's going to be good. You know, not only do they got one of the top young quarterbacks in this league, you know, and we're a game away from the Super Bowl. They've added a bunch of pieces. They add wide receiver Deebo Samuel, the Jack Army knife, the Swiss Army knife. That's what I meant. Swiss Army knife. You know, he does so many things for a team. He's a big bully of a wide receiver. Yep. He's going to help them in the receiving game, the running game. He'll be a nice piece. Laramie Tunsil, one of the premier left tackles in this league. They brought him over. That's a big win for them. Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle with the San Francisco 49ers. They signed him to a 3-year, $45 million deal. Again, defensive tackle, $15 million a year.
Yep.
And then they re-signed a lot of players that were key to their success last year. Zach Ertz was huge for Jaden Daniels last year. He was his security blanket. They re-signed him to a 1-year, $6.25 million deal. And Bobby Wagner, one of listen, Bobby Wagner's old. He's old, but he still plays at a high level. Mm-hmm. He's one of the league's great linebackers. Obviously, he's not what he used to be, but he's still a very good player.
Yep.
They bring him back on a 1-year, $9.5 million deal. Absolutely phenomenal. Chicago Bears, another winner so far in free agency, in my opinion. They signed Durham Smythe. Listen, Durham Smythe was a reliable tight end for us. He's not a big play tight end, but he can block. He can make the catches on third down. He struggled a little bit with his catches last year, but I think that was just a one-off thing. I think he'll be phenomenal for the Bears. They also traded for Jonah Jackson, offensive guard. They traded for Joe Thurney, offensive guard from the Chiefs.
Mhm.
They got center Drew Dahlman, one of the best centers in the league. Listen, they redid their whole offensive line. So now Caleb Williams has no excuses. They're going to have blocking up front.
Yep.
You got blocking and an offensive line for your young quarterback. On the other side of the ball, they had Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett is a Pro Bowl a talented defensive tackle. 3-year, $43.5 million deal. Another guy the Miami Dolphins could have targeted. Detroit Lions, they did a few things, but the big thing they did was add DJ Reed. He signed a 3-year, $60 million deal. I want to say $20 million a year. That's big. He was probably the top corner available in this free agency. Green Bay Packers, they signed Aaron Banks, 4-year, $77 million. I wasn't expecting him to get that much money, but one of the top young offensive guards in football. Minnesota has brought back Aaron Jones. They signed Ryan Kelly, the center from the Indianapolis Colts. He got a 2-year, $18 million deal. Listen, I would have brought Ryan Kelly in to play guard. Ryan Kelly is a phenomenal blocker. 2 years, $18 million. Sign me up. Atlanta re-signed Jake Matthews, offensive tackle. Not much other stuff that they did. Carolina Panthers re-signed Andy Dalton. J.C. Hornta, the biggest cornerback contract in NFL history. And then Trevon Moehrig, safety from the Raiders. He signed a way bigger contract than I ever expected him to sign. He signed a 3-year, $51 million deal. The Saints traded for Devon Godshaw. Tampa Bay re-signed Chris Godwin. Re-signed Levante David. Their big addition was edge rusher Hassan Reddick. I like that. That was a nice move for them. A 1-year, $14 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona Cardinals, they re-signed Evan Brown, offensive guard, offensive tackle, Kelvin Beckham. Josh Sweat was the big addition for them. 4 years, $76.4 million. That's a huge win for them. The Rams, their big addition was Devontae Adams, obviously. I feel like they way overpaid him, but
yeah,
people can have their opinion on that. 49ers didn't really do nothing. And then the Seattle Seahawks, they got their quarterback. They went out and signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year, $100 million deal. Listen, if Sam Darnold continues to play the way that he was playing last year, this is still an absolute steal for them. I mean, what are you averaging? $33 million a year. That's a steal for a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. That'll be huge for them. That will be huge for them.
Yep. That was crazy.
What do you guys think though? What do you guys think? Does Miami turn it around and get it right or what?
Man. You guys didn't grab
What
nobody.
do you guys think?
I think you guys are screwed.
Yeah, I mean it's rough living being a Dolphin fan. It definitely is a rough living.
Oh man, try being a Giants fan, man.
Listen, like you can't talk about like you've been to the Super Bowl in the last. It's not the same, brother. I know like you guys are going through your stuff, but it's not the same.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Banks getting 20 million a year blew my mind too. I didn't think. Listen, a lot of people were getting a lot bigger contracts than what I expected. But as soon as players started getting those oversized contracts, that's when Chris Greer needed to go out and create more cap space. That's when Chris Greer needed to go out and create more cap space. Greenlaw would have been a nice piece for us to go along with Jordan Brooks. You're right, Irving. It definitely wasn't a good day, Bonnie. There's not a lot of pieces left. Like if we don't go get one of these last offensive guards, where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? I want to check to see if let me see if this is updating. Maybe it'll say what free agent tracker. Maybe it'll. Lots of times this shit doesn't update, but if it does, we'll be able to take a look. Let's see. When I share the screen, can you guys see it all right? I mean, I don't think there's much I can do to make it bigger.
That's what she said.
So let's see. Guards. Feliciano, Whitehair, Dalton Reisner. Jenkins still available. Tevin Jenkins. Lincoln Tomlinson. See right guards. Obviously, Zach Martin retired. Brandon Sheriff. Is he still available? James Daniels from the Steelers. Maybe we're working on him. Kevin Zeitler. Will Hernandez. Did Will Fries get signed? And then let's go over here and look at safety. Oh, no, I gotta click off these guys. Safety. We got Justin Reed still available. Justin Simmons. Woods, Julian Blackman. Quandre Diggs. Javon Holland. We can run it back with Jordan Poyer. What? Let's take a look at the cornerback position. Ward was signed, obviously. You got James Bradbury still out there. That'd be a decent pickup for us. Byron Murphy at the cornerback position. Rasul Douglas. Stephon Gilmore. So, I mean, listen, there's still people available. All hope isn't lost yet. But man, it's getting down there. It's really getting down there. I mean, I was all against signing Jameis Winston, but bro, I would have signed Jameis Winston over Zach Wilson.
For sure.
Now, are they going because he's young and he's got the most potential to turn into a, I don't know. Do they think they can resurrect his career and he could be a future starter for us? That's the only thing I could think of them going Zach Wilson. Yeah, I heard that too, Scotty. I heard that the top guards said they haven't been in contact. They haven't been contacted by the Miami Dolphins. Fries is expected to get more than Banks. Yeah, I mean, they keep putting themselves in this corner. You know, they might not have a choice but to severely overpay for a player. We can always create cap on a corresponding move. That's absolutely is not what is holding us up. I agree, Scotty. I mean, if we were down to our last dollar, then yeah, you could talk about the money being the issue, but you know, we have a considerable amount of money right now. And yeah, it's not a lot. But we have a considerable amount that we could go and sign pretty much any player that we, you know what I mean? If we wanted to, we could go pretty much sign any free agent we wanted. Would it be terrible ramifications for us? Yeah, I mean, we'd miss out on other players and not be able to fill holes in other spots, but I mean, we have enough money to do it.
At least you'd be doing something.
See, Scotty, I wanted Mac Jones just because he's so similar to Tua. He's so similar to Tua. And even Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith and the other receiver that was at Alabama with them said they preferred Mac Jones over Tua. Mac Jones showed that he could have some success in this league. He went to a Pro Bowl, and I know that the Pro Bowl isn't as great of an achievement as it used to be. I mean, Tyler, what's his face for us last year? He has got a Pro Bowl under his belt, and I think he had more interceptions than touchdowns the year he went to the Pro Bowl. We are pigeonholing ourselves in linebacker in the first and guard in the second. Teams will jump us because it's obvious. We need to create more cap space. I mean, if we're not going to sign people, there's no need to go out and put ourselves in more of a hole for future years.
For sure.
What's the chances that Stephen Ross is telling Chris Grier that he's not doing it no more? What's the chances that Stephen Ross is saying, listen, this is the cap space you got. This is what you got to work with. Maybe he's done writing the checks for Chris Grier. Maybe he's done pushing in contracts down the road. Maybe he's just like, listen, you got to work with what you got. And if you don't make it work, then we're moving on from you.
Damn.
This is a terrible position to be in, though. I was wrong. I admit that I was wrong. I'm sorry if you believed me that you were misled by me. I feel like a fool. I just didn't picture a world where this team would, in a make it or break it season, would do absolutely nothing on the first day of free agency. Yeah, I mean, Scotty, to be honest, that's kind of what it's looking like. I mean, that's what it's starting to look like. Maybe Stephen Ross has had enough. And this is the final hurrah of the Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer, and Tua Tagovailoa era for the Miami Dolphins. Now, I know a lot of people that would make happy. Last year, they spent a ton of money on players and coaches. Yeah, they did do that. They spent it on their own players, though, like Tyreek and Tua, and, not necessarily bringing players in, just like keeping players happy. Keeping players happy.
That's kind of shitty if he's going to give you guys pay him more money, give him more money to work with. That's.
I mean, he's been doing it for years and years and years, and they haven't produced.
Right. I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, if you were sitting there giving someone hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of the last 4 years, and you're expecting results, and you end up not even getting to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I'd probably be hesitant in that situation. I heard seen a thing out there about the Giants that people don't want to go to the Giants because of Joe Shane, and I think he should have been gone. You just can't fix that stuff. So I can only imagine your guys' owner sitting there like, oh, you guys have had this much time. He's spent money, like you said, constantly, and eventually that shit's gonna stop. It's got to stop, right? You're not gonna sit there and keep giving up money for nothing in return.
Bonnie, I heard that too. Who said it? It was it was on the Alan Poupart show with man, the guy's name's slipping my mind, with the Black Dolphins beat writer, not Omar, but the other one. What's the other beat writer for the Miami Dolphins that is not Omar? The older guy who I like a lot, but he acted like this year was that next year would be the Super Bowl year. Chris Perkins, there you go. Is Perk. Poupart and Perk. Yep. Yeah, he kept saying it, and I was like, what's he talking about? Not this year, because, I feel like this is Tyreek's last year in Miami because he has a $51 million cap hit next year. But he kept swearing to God, like, this year they're going to do this, and then next year they're going to make the run towards the Super Bowl. They acted like they were going to make a run towards the Super Bowl next year, which that kind of blew my mind. I didn't understand it really, but I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to know anymore. Yeah, you don't know anything. You can only guess, and I seen some of these guys on here laughing, making jokes who are supposed to be Dolphin fans. And, all I can see is red. There was no joking with me. There's nothing that I found funny about the situation. I didn't want to make light of it. Nothing about this is funny to me.
Right.
And like, as I was listening to it, like my blood was starting to boil listening to them laugh. You know what I mean? Listening to them make light of a horrible situation. Because when we lose and we're not good, that shit hurts me deep. That shit hurts me deep. And I don't find that fun. I don't find sitting here for 18 weeks out of my year being absolutely miserable, depressed, sad, angry while my team's getting their face stomped in. The Super Bowl looks a far way off. Sorry to listen. I don't. It's almost like the Super Bowl is not a real thing for the Miami Dolphins, that they're not really qualified for it. You know what I mean? After all these years, Like, I don't even think that my team they're eligible for it. I don't even think, you know what I mean? It's like your team's plays with these other teams, but they're not eligible for the Super Bowl. That's how I feel after all these years. It's numbing. It's so numbing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely numbing to have never seen. I've never seen my team in the playoffs. I've barely seen them sniff it. You know what I mean? Would have gotten to see maybe one or two AFC championship games in my life. And at that point, I was so young that I didn't understand. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as an adult, the best I've seen is us getting our faces kicked in the divisional round of the playoffs. Because Dan Marino was old and, you know what I mean? And we didn't have much of an offense. We had a good defense those last Marino years, but we didn't have the offense. Dan just couldn't move like he used to. We weren't good enough to beat the Denver Broncos teams, the Jacksonville Jaguar teams. And we had to bust our ass to get to the second round of the playoffs. And by the time we got there, those other teams just ran over us. That's the best that I've seen. That's the best that my team has been, is taking ass whoopings in the divisional round of the playoffs to the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's just horrible. And like, I understand that, you know, it's not your fault that my team's so bad. It's just hard to, you know, get on the same page with someone that has experienced the Super Bowl, has experienced the Super Bowl win. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like I said, I don't even know if my team can. Are we eligible? Are we eligible? You know what I mean? Is this a real life thing? Are the Miami Dolphins in this pool to go to the Super Bowl? Because I've
it
never
doesn't
seen
seem
it.
like it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying, like with that stuff. Like, yeah, I've seen the Giants go. I've got to experience it at a relatively decent age to understand it. So, I mean, I get it, and I got to do it twice. So, I try to root for you guys. You know, I'm not a hater. I try to root for the Dolphins and always want the best for them. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm bleed red and blue, and right now, we're just walking around with our heads cut off. So, just kind of in limbo.
Damian, he's probably an upgrade over Ingold, but I don't know if we release Ingold to sign him.
Let's see.
What do you think, folks? Do you think the New England Patriots passed us up today? Do you think the New England Patriots surpassed us today in the division? Shoot, do you think the New York Jets surpassed us? Are we sitting at as the fourth best team in the AFC East right now?
I don't know about the Jets. I'd say the Patriots are probably the closest.
Sheriff is what, 33? Oh, please no. Listen, Scotty, at this point, we just got to get people that can perform better than the other players. I know you're talking about building towards the future, but we got to do something. Pats will split with us. Yeah, you're right, Scotty. I mean, you're right. It's just hard it's hard when you're like one of only 3 or 4 teams that really, you know what I mean, didn't do much. I mean, if it wasn't for Zach Wilson, we would have been one of 4 teams that didn't make any moves.
Yeah.
We got Daniels. Is that a fact? Three years, 24 million. Are you positive? Trying to find it. Yeah, I'm looking too, Scotty.
Yeah.
Beat me up, Scotty.
I don't see
You better not be trolling.
it.
Yeah, I'm only seeing freaking Zach Wilson.
Me too.
Barry Jackson posted. What? We in there. We going to the Super Bowl. Let's go. We back. We back, baby. Yeah.
Oh god.
We back. Good job, Damian. We back in there. Let's go. Let's go. That's a great deal, too. $8 million a year. Let's go. Great move. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. The Lord heard me crying. The football gods heard me crying. They felt me at my lowest point. They thought I was going to commit football suicide.
Yeah, you were getting a little doom and gloom. I almost didn't know how to react on the show. I was just like, dang, this motherfucker's just negative as fuck today. Like shit.
Oh man, that's awesome. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully his Achilles is all good. I hope and pray.
Well, there you go. There's one addition to your O line.
Good job, Damian. Yeah, I mean, $8 million a year, that's awesome. I wonder what Scotty is the salary cap king around here. He's the salary cap calculator. I wonder what he's going to cost us against the cap this year. Man, oh man.
Man, oh man. There you go. There you go, brother. At least you're not out there hanging. At least y'all did something.
Listen, you guys, I agree. Like Reason does a great job over there on his channel. And I plan on adding some aspects of what he does over there. And he is very informative. And listen, I got a lot to learn about certain things, but it'll continue to grow and continue to get better over here. Trust and believe that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, I hope we address interior D line, sign both Hargrave and Calais. $5 to $6 million first year. Yeah, I mean, there's still pieces available. Chris Greer is going to have to create some more space, though. Scotty says maybe as low as $4 million. Chris Greer is still going to have to create some more space. Justin Simmons still available at the safety position. Maybe, Chris Greer does have a soft spot for players he's drafted. Maybe he is trying to work out something with Javon Holland. Maybe he is. Now, I think that'd be a mistake if he's going to reach and pay him $20 million a year. I don't think Javon Holland's going to take a team-friendly deal. Yeah, probably. I would say probably that, Scotty. Larry Borum. I don't know that name.
No, they finally updated it. James Daniels, 3-year, $24 million deal.
$20 million might be worth it, but he's going to get 25 somewhere. Like, man, if he gets 25 million, that's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants go and get Javon Holland, though, honestly.
I wouldn't mind. I definitely wouldn't mind.
Wow, that's huge. I'm glad. Listen, at least we got a guard.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge move. That keeps our head above water. It gives us some kind of hope. We just gotta grow from that. We gotta continue to make moves. We gotta add some more pieces. Like I said, we got a bunch of holes, and they all need to be filled.
Keep them swimming. Keep on swimming.
But this is definitely a nice piece. I'm definitely excited for the prospect for Daniels to be coming here, and I just hope that he can be healthy. Yeah, I still can't believe how much money Aaron Banks got, bro. So much money.
So y'all picked up Larry Borum and James Daniels? They literally I just updated it and you got 2 offensive players.
Yeah. 25-year-old offensive tackle Larry Borum to bring in some depth to the unit. He's a big boy. Can he play guard?
Yeah, he is a big boy.
Can he
Holy
play guard?
6'5", 333. Woo!
Can he play defensive tackle? Shit.
He's a monster. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's definitely a big boy. That's awesome. Daniel's pre-injury was awesome. I wanted him last offseason. I'm just nervous about the Achilles. He injured it September 24th. 6 months is April-ish. You think he's going to be okay? For him to compete with Keon for swing tackle. It really depends. I mean, it depends on what treatment. The thing with offensive linemen, they do a lot less cutting and stuff than what wide receivers or running backs do. So that's a bonus. That's an addition.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot less running at like full speed and stopping on a dime and cutting to the left and to the right. And so, I mean, that definitely helps that he don't have to necessarily do those things.
Yeah, but doesn't he take more with just blocking and holding? Because then you're putting a lot of pressure on you put more pressure on your Achilles when you do that shit, don't you? I mean, because if you think about it, like you're holding somebody back, that's a lot of pressure.
It's more of when you're like planning and like exploding off of it.
Yeah.
I could listen. I'm not a doctor though.
He said, "I'm not a doctor." We know,
but I did stay at a hotel, Holiday Inn Express last night.
Welcome to episode 2 of Kicking It with Dr. Jones. Today's guest has genital warts in his mouth.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's not still to the extent of a wide receiver. He's not cutting. Right. Obviously, we run a scheme zone, a zone scheme. That's why it was so good that Aaron Brewer was a smaller, more athletic center. You know what I mean? To get to them second levels and take on the linebackers.
You gonna stay on a little longer? I got to get going for work.
I got a few things to do too. We'll go over more of it tomorrow, though. So the Miami Dolphins got one piece. Hopefully that Chris Grier continues to make some moves and create some more cap space so we can add some more pieces to this team. Because as of right now, we still have a lot of holes, and we want to be able to go into the draft and pick the best player available at a position of need, but not be forced to take a certain position.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Let him have it.
That's a very good question, Scotty. I mean, I guess it depends how comfortable he is over there. Because I mean, if you put Daniels over next to Jackson, we might be able to run the ball to the right and have a dominating rushing attack to the right. You know what I mean? That's a good question, Scotty. That's a very good question. It depends on how comfortable he feels over at, I don't know how much different it is from a tackle position, but I know Richmond Webb said that it was very difficult to move to the other side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes. Then I'd say yeah. You want to have someone that can help your young left tackle out. Yeah, I agree, Scotty. That's a very smart. That's a very smart take. That's a very intelligent take. Hopefully, the Miami Dolphins think the same way you do. But I'll be back in the morning to discuss more free agent moves. Hopefully we have more news to talk about. Hopefully Chris Grier stays on them phones, keeps making deals, and keeps adding players to this Miami Dolphins team. Great news that we brought Daniels in. That's a win for this Miami Dolphins team. They got him on a good contract. That's a win. He's super young still. I want to put Membu next to Paul. We shall see, Jose. We'll discuss that bridge when we cross it. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you all. Make sure you hit them like, subscribe, all that. I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we got more news. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Mike, any closing words?
Thanks for kicking it with us. Episode 60 of the Blitz. This was moving day. A lot of moving pieces today. A lot of big things. I will be back and see you guys Friday on the Blitz with Big C. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate all the comments. Remember, the league's always in the chat. If you ever want to stop in to say hi, smash that like button on your way out, and have a good week.
All right, folks. Just try to help me stay positive. Sometimes I need help because I fall into this trap that this team has hurt my feelings so many times that I get into a deep, dark spot. So
isn't it sad?
You guys got to help me through it.
Just keep giving them chances, and they keep letting you down.
Absolutely. All right, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, fins up.
Go Giants.